Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I want to thank you for tuning in to Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. For those that do not know who I am the CEO of Aspiring Authors Magazine. I am the founder of AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign. And through both platforms, my desire is to bring awareness to Brown authors all over the world, to bridge the gap between Brown authors and give authors a platform to share about topics that's affecting our Brown community all over this world. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in on today to be a part of Up Close and Personal with Angela. This month of September, we're going to be sharing some amazing authors. They're going to be coming on and giving you an opportunity to get up close and personal with them. So if you have questions, please post them in the comment section, and I will post them online so people can see them. And again, I want to thank you for tuning in. If you have not followed us on YouTube, please go over and follow us on YouTube and follow us on Facebook, Aspiring Authors Magazine. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. My guest on today is author Kenyata Garner, and she's going to be sharing her journey to becoming an author and walking in her purpose. So I am super excited to bring her on and allow her to share on today. So let me bring her up. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello. Hello,
How
everyone.
are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing great. I am doing
Good.
great. I want to thank you for sacrificing because definitely I know that this is a holiday for most, and I know it's probably a sacrifice for you coming on and sharing. But I thank you for coming on and sharing your story because we don't get these books for nothing. I know that there's definitely a message inside of that book, and I want to give my followers on my platform and those that will visit the platform an opportunity to really find out who you are and what's your message and how they can connect with you. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna allow you to take over my screen and share just a little bit about who you are, and then I'm gonna come back and ask you some questions
sure.
and get to know who you are. Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, again, my name is Kenyata Garner. First of all, thank you to the host for having me here. I know it is a holiday, so I hope that everybody is safe and that you're having fun with your families and so forth. A little bit about me. I've been writing since I was about 11 years old. I started writing when I lived in Germany. I was fourth, fifth grade. I used to do a lot of short stories and stuff like that, and I got the inspiration to go further from that from my teacher. I'll never forget. He was like, "Well, you're always writing these short stories all the time. You know, this is supposed to be show and tell, and all you're doing is writing." So he wanted me to join the Young Authors Club, and I did that. And that's kind of like where my journey began. From there, I just started doing a lot more stuff than just writing. I started drawing. I started playing music. I did a lot of drumming and stuff back in the day. I was basically raised in the church, so all of the drumming and stuff that I did was in church. But that was kind of like all my creativeness kind of like started at that point. I started doing everything. So that's a little bit about me. I now live in Oklahoma, in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, Okie from Muskogee. So yeah, um, pretty much writing for me has been quite the journey. At first, what started off to be a means of just being creative and stuff like that kind of turned into a need because I started going through a whole lot of stuff when I was younger. So it turned from being something that was a positive, fun, creative outlet for me into kind of like a necessity. It was a way for me to be able to put my emotions into words and kind of reflect back on those words at a later time to see where my head was at, what I was thinking, how I was feeling. Because in my house growing up, talking about your emotions and things like that wasn't something that we did. So from there, I did started doing spoken word poetry. So I just now started doing novels a couple of years ago. Most of the work that I had did was poetry and stuff like that, and I wrote a lot of that kind of. You laughing at?
No, I'm laughing because I know you like, why is she coming up on the screen when she told me she gonna let me talk. But
No.
you look, you are touching on some stuff, and I don't want to forget the questions that I want to ask you because
Yeah.
like I literally like when I want to know when you was writing for the Young Authors Club. That I mean, you was in what grade? Because I
Fourth
need the fourth grade.
grade.
So being that young and being a part of something like that that exposed you to you said after becoming being involved with that, you said you started doing music, you started doing other things around art and creativity.
Yes.
So what kind of sparked that? Given the opportunity to be a part of that club, did that kind of spark that in you?
Well, as far as the uh, kind of like expanding on my literary work and stuff like that and writing more, yes, it kind of gave me the spark for that. During that time, also, like I said, I spent a lot of time kind of like alone. So all of the things that I did was, if they had to be creative, I had to have a big imagination in order to be able to do these things. So the Young Authors Club kind of gave me an outlet, and then from there, that's when like everything that I ever wanted to do, playing the drums, drawing, stuff like that, that's where it kind of, I don't know, it kind of like all the talents that I had kind of like just fell fell on me. So they kind of like just came out. But yes, the Young Authors Club did give me a outlet and an opportunity to be able to like meet other young kids really who were writers, illustrators. Some of the kids that were in the Authors Club, they would get together and write books. But for me, I was like, no, I want to do this by myself. I want to draw what I want to write, and I want to write what I want to write, and I want to go through it and read it for myself and submit it on my own. So I was kind of a rebel in that sense.
So you were in Germany doing this, or
Yeah,
were you in the States then?
I
So
was.
being
Yeah,
in Germany, because I know I have I actually have a friend. She does a show. She's in Germany, but I think she's originally from the States, but she lives in Germany. Um, they don't know a lot of authors. So when you were there, are a lot of us over there.
on base there were because I was a military kid, we had like a plethora of different people with different religions, people from different
Mhm.
backgrounds, people of different races and stuff like that. As far as outside of base, um, back then I probably would no. Most of the people that I knew that were kind of like we were all mixed up together were just people that were in my classes. So or people who lived like on base and stuff like that.
So were you exposed to a lot of creativity opportunities to be creative? Because I know when I was younger, and I can't speak for a lot of people. I grew up in the country, and mostly I was around my family, and there was distance between us. It wasn't like everybody's so close now where we could
Yeah.
just, it wasn't like that. So you had to walk a little while to get to your neighbors,
Hmm.
and I used to be home alone a lot. So it was distance in between me and my sister. Me and my sister 10 years apart. My brother, he didn't want to play with me because I was a girl. And it was like I was always to myself. It, trees were my friend.
Hmm.
I mean, I used to jump when I used to tie my rope to a tree, and then I would be jumping, trying to jump like this, trying to jump like this, whatever I can do to have fun and be creative. My dog back then, I would be a school teacher. I would be teaching. I would be doing all this. And now, when I look back, I never wanted to be a school teacher. Never wanted to be a school teacher. So I wonder, you know, when did you realize that I want to be an author? This is really what I want to do. This is my passion. This is what drives me.
When I realized it was when that was all I had. Like I said, there were a lot of things that were going on with me when I was younger and stuff like that. Things that I, as an adult, 30, 40 years old just now, like 2 years ago, getting over the mountain. So when it's kind of like you said, trees and stuff were your friends. Well, I always say that poetry was my first love. Like I fell in love with writing poetry. I started writing poetry. I didn't even know what spoken word was, but I was writing it. I just knew I didn't want it to rhyme. I wanted to be full of emotions. I wanted to be able to express myself using like creative words and stuff like that. So I knew that that's what I wanted to do fairly young. Like I said, because it was my friend. It was something that I could tell my secrets to. I could put words on paper and then, like I said, go back and read them. And sometimes I go back and read them and like, I can't believe I wrote something like that. In a positive way though. Like for me, it was kind of like taking the darkness in my life and making something beautiful, if that makes sense. Like so,
It makes plenty. It makes perfect sense. It
yeah,
makes perfect sense. And sometimes our pain pushes us into our purpose.
yeah, yeah,
And somebody listening today, they needed to hear your story. They needed to hear that because they need to be encouraged and they needed to see that you're okay now. You
yes.
know, I want you to. I know you said that you do poetry. Do you have your book with you by chance?
The book that I just recently is not a poetry book. No,
No,
it's
I'm just asking. Do you have your book? Do you have your
yes.
book? I want you to share your book. I want you to share your book, and I want you to share your book because I know you do. You have a
Show
book.
it.
Uh-huh.
The
Yeah,
poetry
I want
book
you to
or the
show it, and then I want you to share with us a little about your book.
about the okay. So you want the old poetry book or you want the new one that I just
Do
the
you
new?
have a poetry book?
Yes, I
Do
will
you
go
have
get it.
it available?
Yes, let me. I have
Okay.
somebody. Yes, I'm sending a text message. Hold on, just a second.
Okay, no problem. See, I don't do you for a loop. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's absolutely fine. We have time.
I do that sometimes, and those that follow me, they know that. I be all over the place sometimes. But I
So,
want people to really know. I want them to see because I like poetry too, and we do
okay,
stuff around. We do stuff like I have a magazine. I don't know how much you know about me and my platforms, but I do a lot. I do radio shows. I do these lives. I do YouTubes. I do the magazine, and then I do stuff with other organizations. I'm a networker. I partner. I love working with people because I love people, and I just want to see people walking in their purpose because I truly believe that we all have a purpose, and we got to learn how to support each other. And that's why I open my platform up like I do because I want people to stay relevant. I want people to stay before people so people know who they are so they can hear their message because we didn't get these books by chance.
right,
These books didn't just fall in our lap. Most
right,
of them come from things that have happened in our life, whether positive or negative, but there are things that have come in our life that people need to hear that can empower them, educate them, and encourage them to hopefully walk in that purpose. So I'm about to move on out the way because this is about you. This is not about me. So this is about you. So
yeah,
I want you to share books. We want to talk about books, and then I want you to share whatever you want people to know about you so they can know Kenyatta. So when we get off this live and people go back and they listen to this replay and they hear this replay and they be like, man, I want to follow this young lady. I want to get to know her. I want to know that's the kind of impression I want you to leave.
sure, absolutely. Well, the book is coming. She's went to go get it just now, but
Okay.
um, there should be
You give
one.
it to Ione. You
What?
give one to Ione.
No,
Yeah,
there should be some.
over there.
Well, she does. Okay. I,
If you want to go get it, I can I can talk until you come back.
okay. Well, I shall return.
Okay. So we're gonna let her go and get her book and she will be right back. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of Up Close and Personal with Angela. I definitely want to give Kenyatta an opportunity to truly represent herself. Um, this hour is dedicated to her, for her to come on here and talk about who she is. But while she's getting her book, let me share just a little bit more about me. I know I did a Damon look on last night, a part of my Damon show. Um, So that's something that we're doing now. So thank you guys that tuned in last night for that. I really appreciate that. And we do that once a month. But of course, I try to do mine twice a month because it's always an opportunity to be seen, to give the authors an opportunity to share and be on each other's platform. Um, So thank you guys. Make sure that you guys are tuning in this week. I tell you, we have some amazing guests that are going to be a part of Up Close and Personal with Angela this week. If you are not signed up to be a part of the YouTube interviews on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine, please get signed up. I'm still booking for November. October, we're not doing interviews in October. So if you want to be involved in November, please reach out to me. I can get you booked and get you signed up. It is a free interview on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. And if you have not been featured on the blog, please get featured on the blog. It's another free opportunity to get seen. We are getting traffic. I go over and I check the statistics every day to see how many views, and we're getting enough views to make a difference. So if you have a message that you want to share through the blog and you would like to be featured, please reach out to me. Okay, and my guest is back. So let me bring my guest back up so she can continue to share. So those that are just tuning in, my guest today is Kenyata, author Kenyata Garner.
Okay, so we just recently moved, so I think they're outside in storage. But I did have
Okay,
one.
well, that's okay.
But you can still find it. It's still on Amazon.
Okay.
Fine, just put my name in and it'll pop up.
So we're just gonna talk about your books. I'm just gonna move out the way and let you have the flow. I want you to. This is your time. This is your time to shine. I want you to. There you go.
Okay. But yes, you can find the book. It's called A Word for the Open Mouth. It's the first poetry book that I did um, in 2000 and
You say word for the open mouth.
A Word for the Open Mouth. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can find it on Amazon. It's my earlier work, so and that's all the poetry and stuff like that. But the new book that I have, which is behind me, is the newly released book that I recently did, which is The Birds Don't Swim in the Winter.
Mm-hmm.
Got a little bit about the character and so forth on the back. But this is my first novel that I ever released. I have a lot of ideas and stuff like that for books, and writing it is different from having the idea. So, but this book deals with a lot of different issues. It deals with depression. It deals with doesn't deal with suicide and stuff like that, but it deals with depression. It deals with overcoming obstacles, things of that nature. It deals with the LGBT. It deals with the church. It's a lot of stuff in here. And it also deals with friendships and things of that nature, parent relationships with their children. And so it's a good book if you're looking for something that you can identify with, especially as a young black woman. My main character is a young black woman. She's a darker skinned girl. I do have other few characters in here that deal with stuff. I don't know if I'm allowed to say on here, but it deals with a lot of different things that we face in the black community. I think we need to start talking about. So this book has
What
a lot.
what topics? Because some
Hmm?
of the topics that we don't talk about, we need to know what are some of the topics that we don't talk about that we are afraid to talk about in the brown
Oh yeah,
community.
it deals with the church. It deals with the molestation or rapes that happen in church, dealing with ministers and stuff like that. I don't want to really give the book away, as far as too many details, but it deals with stuff like that. And I think that one of the reasons why I put that in the book is because, in like I said, I grew up in church and stuff like that, and so unfortunately, I saw a lot of that going on in Germany. Same thing as with here in the United States. A lot of the churches I went to had a lot of hurt kids, and contrary to trying to give them help, they just, oh, we'll just pray about it, or we'll just ask God what to do and stuff like that, rather than helping the person who was being hurt. So seeing a lot of that growing up and stuff like that, it was important for me to put that in this book because it's something that, like I said, from my experience and from what I have seen in my life, we just don't talk about that. We talk about everything else. We talk about being blessed, and we talk about, you know, tithing. We talk about homosexuality. We talk about um, just healing and all this kind of. But you can't talk about those things without talking about what's going on behind closed doors or what's going on behind the pulpit, so to speak. So I think that that was important for me. Um, Also dealing with kids in this book, or they're teenagers, but dealing with teenagers in this book where they don't know who they are. You know, they are looking for something. They don't have anybody to talk to. Know, it's already hard to deal with in real life, but trying to put it to the character, I wanted for my character, which my main character's name is Dakota, and I wanted you to see the behind the scenes of what goes on in a child's mind, how they can't process things, how they can't, verbalize what they're feeling, how sometimes they lash out in anger, or sometimes they turn to. I was watching your cast yesterday, and you were talking about how they turn to drugs, alcohol, sex, and things of that nature, which this character doesn't turn to drugs and alcohol and stuff like that. But there are some things that you will see that she is going through, and you watch her kind of like climb before she actually finds out who she really is. So her family dynamic has a lot to do with it. Her surroundings have a lot to do with the things she was exposed to, not necessarily the main character exposed to those things, but the people that she knows, you know what I mean, have been exposed to certain different things, and that has an effect on her as well. So, kind of like, I don't know, kind of recede into yourself, and I try to think of what I would think or what I would be feeling if I were in these specific situations at that specific age. So I wanted to make sure that I made it realistic, something that people uh, can
Relate to.
identify with.
And
Yeah,
you're right. Right. And you're definitely touching on a lot of topics that we don't talk about because we've been told so many times that what happened at home, stay at home.
stays at home. I
And
heard that my whole
we
life. Yeah, but
and
here's the thing:
stay out of grown people business. Keep your mouth shut.
that statement in itself is one of, and I wrote this on my page not too long ago, is one of the most negative things you can tell it, because if you have to tell a child that what happens in his house stays in the house, obviously something's happening in the house that
Exactly.
shouldn't be happening in the
Exactly.
house.
Because you
So
shouldn't tell a child that.
yeah, you shouldn't be telling a child that. You know what I mean? If there's a reason you as an adult has to constantly remind your child of that very statement. The only reason why I say that statement because I know as a black woman, a lot of black families are like that. I don't think I know too many people who haven't heard that phrase in their life. You know what I mean? And it doesn't always have to be about the kid per se, but if you're doing something, whatever you're doing at home is seeping into your child one way or the other. Even if it doesn't have anything directly to do with that child, your actions, the things that you expose them to and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, eventually it will affect them in some way. Sometimes it doesn't affect them negatively, but more times, more often than not, it does. So there's a lot of different things I think within the black community that we need to, and I see a change though, right? Like, but it needs to be a change coming from the older generation. It can't just be these young kids out here that are hurting, lost, frustrated, and they're really the ones that are pushing for the changes. They're the ones making the
But
change.
but you know what? And I've come to realize this, that a lot of them, they're stuck in their ways, and
Mhm.
a lot of them, they're say I hate to say this, but a lot of them are dying out. They're older, and their time is nearing. Because I ain't young. I'm not young. I'm kind of up there too, and
Mhm.
I know that one day my time too is going to expire.
Yeah.
And my objective right now is to make sure that those after me are
Yeah.
equipped and empowered and
That's right.
educated.
That's
Because you know
right.
what? I can't do nothing about those that are before me. You know what I'm saying? Those that
Yeah.
came before me. Because a lot
Yeah.
of them, they stuck in their ways. And,
Yeah.
and, and as much as we want to change them and as much as we want them to change,
Mhm.
they not. Some of them not. Some of them will. And
A lot of
they'll give a little on certain things, but some of them, they stuck in their ways. It's just like teaching a new dog. Is it teaching a new dog old tricks? Or teaching the old dog new
old
tricks?
new trick.
But
Yeah.
I tell you,
But then
I'm
I
telling you, if you gave them a cup and it was half full, they're gonna tell you it's empty. They're not gonna look at it as being half full. They're gonna look at it as being empty.
yeah, because that's who they are. And sometimes, another thing that I always, hear, just trying to piggyback off of what you just said with dealing with the older generation. So sometimes there's a couple things going on with that. Some of that stuff they have been taught. Some of that stuff they have had to go through themselves, and so it's like in them. And some of them are exactly who they are. When people are like, "Oh, that's how he or she is. That's just the way they act. That's unacceptable." Everybody has. If I were to be the person that I was groomed to be, or the person that is a if I were to be a product of all the stuff that happened to me and I was just sitting in that and not allowing myself to change or grow, I probably wouldn't be a very good person. I probably wouldn't even be.
Well, I'm
So
telling you, I would. You wouldn't
yeah,
want to talk to me. You probably wouldn't even want to be in the same room with me. You definitely wouldn't be sitting here having a conversation with me
yeah,
because I probably would have an attitude. I probably would have been doing all kind of crazy stuff. I probably would have been like I'm ready to go, and just all kind of just stuff that was just in my character back then. I would have
yeah,
been a totally different person because of the walls that I built up, not
yeah,
wanting to let people in, hiding behind all those masks and all those layers and all those stuff year and year and year. If you do nothing about it, it
yeah,
festers up. I
yeah,
don't care what it is. And when you started, you said that it really didn't touch on suicide. But if you think about a lot of these things that we deal with, some people are not strong enough to
yeah.
deal with them. And those things can lead to suicide attempts. And
Absolutely.
some people are successful.
Yeah,
So it does it does have a correlation. It
yeah,
does have a
yeah.
correlation.
I agree.
You see
Like I
what I'm
said,
saying? So we all, you know what? I don't believe that God allowed people to come across my platform for no reason at all. There's definitely a divine connection because I am a suicide attempt survivor. I just today released, and this is the first time I've said it publicly, released a 20-day suicide devotional that I started back in 2018 that was supposed to be released 4 or 5 times. It started out as a 30-day devotional, but life happened, and God revealed some things to me. We get so caught up on titles and we get so caught up on religion, but it ain't even about religion, it's about the relationship. And people need to get that right first.
yeah,
It ain't about all all the scriptures in the world. Because if you don't have a relationship with God, all them scriptures ain't gonna matter. Ain't gonna matter. Ain't gonna mean nothing if you can't apply them to your life and watch the manifestation and the fruit. manifest in your life, it does no good. He revealed to me what those four letters mean. The word life, Life. What does life mean to you? I want to ask you that question. What does life
Life,
mean to you? Mm-hmm.
ooh,
Life.
it's a very complex thing. While I can talk about all the good things that life means to me, I think it's much more than that. I think that to be able to fully appreciate and experience life, sometimes people just go through things. I'm not a person who says that everything happens for a reason. I just don't believe that. Some things just shouldn't happen. But what I will say about that is that even though things do happen to you, you have a choice and you have a opportunity to be able to turn it around. So let me bring it all back in. As far as life, I think that experiencing, having hardships and stuff like that, going through some things kind of allows you to be able to be more appreciative for what it means to have life. When I wake up in the morning, whether I'm having a bad day or not, I'm always appreciative that I'm alive, no matter what is gonna come. So life for me is a just everything in its entirety: the good, the bad, the struggles, how you overcome things, the victories, the challenges. It's not always going to be sunshine and roses. We know that from looking at nature. I can look outside right now and see flowers. They die, trees
Exactly.
die in the winter, but you know what? They come back. So life is just, it's a plethora of different things. For me, it's not just one thing. It has to be all things in their place, right? Like, don't let negativity and stuff swallow you up. Yes, you can go through some things, but that doesn't mean that you should put yourself in places where you're going to be going through all this stuff over and over and over and over and over again. You're supposed to be learning. Life is it's a journey. It's about learning. It's about learning yourself. It's about loving yourself. It's about picking yourself up, like I said, when you're down. Um, and just really, for me, it's kind of just like your own personal journey. If I walk outside right now barefoot, there's gonna be some rocks. I can get to the other side. That doesn't mean I'm not gonna have some scars when I get there. So for me, it's everything. Life is everything, the good and the bad.
Let me tell you what happened to me. So he revealed to me what each one of those letters meant. The L stand for love, something that a lot of us don't even show. We can't even, we won't even take a second to share one of our sister, our brothers' posts when they advertise in their book, and it only take a second. Yet alone, we won't go and purchase it. And especially if we got Prime, Amazon Prime, you can download it and read it for free. And then all you got to do is leave a review. We won't even do that. So we're not showing love. Let me tell you what I did and what I do, because I support people. If I say I'm for you, I'm for you. Now that we've had this opportunity for me to interview you and get to know you, then you'll definitely see my presence. Because people that I become impersonable with, then I want to make sure I'm there to support them, because I want to see you win. I want to see you thriving. I want to see you doing. I want to see you relevant across these platforms. I want to see people getting blessed because of the message that you're bringing, and you're definitely touching on a lot of topics that's plaguing our communities. I touched on that yesterday. There are a
Yeah.
lot of things that we just won't talk about. We just won't talk about it for whatever reason it is, and it's time out for it.
Yeah.
We can't keep being silent. I did a poetry book a couple of years ago. It's called Word Speaks. Hurt no more. We can't be silent. We got to allow ourselves to be heard. We've been silent for too long. And all it's done is allow us to continue to hurt each other. And it just passed down from generation to generation to generation. Because
Yeah.
hurt people hurt.
Yeah.
And when hurt people hurt, they hurt people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you're hurting, you don't care who you hurt. And that's what I come to know from my experience.
Yeah.
I tell
And
you,
that's sad that that's
everybody just
how.
come on my platform. I don't care what platform I go on. of course, I'm on a lot of different platforms. I'm on 2 radio shows. I do a live show on Saturday mornings. Um, I have the magazine. I do a lot of different stuff because I want to help get y'all message out. And if I'm on these various platforms, then I'm reaching different people. I'm not reaching all of the same people. So different people hear you guys. And then when people invite me to their platform, I don't go by myself. If they invite me, then of course I'm gonna extend that invite to the people on my platform. When people see, they say, "Oh, you did an interview in Germany, yeah," and about 12 other people did too. I didn't just do it by myself. 12 other people got invited from the platform as well. I don't go anywhere by myself because that's not me. If I'm going to represent my platform, then of course I have to bring people from my platform. I can't go empty-handed. That's just like going to uh, a fight without the stuff I need to fight with.
Yeah.
I
That's how
can't
I
go to the
feel.
debate without something
Yeah.
to debate with. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Mhm.
We got to learn how to support each other. You have a
So we,
message that definitely needs to get out. And I'm sorry, you was finna say something, and I will talk too much. So I want you to finish what you was finna
I'm
say, girl,
listening. I'm
because
taking in what you're saying.
honey, interrupt me anytime and say what you got to say because you have a message that needs to get out. And I just want people to know that they don't have to go through whatever it is that they're going through alone. That there's somebody out here that cares. We
Yes.
truly, genuine, authentically care. We have written these books, whatever kind of book we've written because we have a message that we want to share because we don't want you to have to go through this alone.
Yes.
We've been where you are. And some of us are going through things right now. You know, we're going through things right now. Don't think because we own these interviews and we're interviewing people and we have written these books that everything is peaches and cream because it's not, because we still deal with stuff.
Yes.
But
Absolutely.
because we've learned how to deal with it and how to apply things to our life to help us through it, then it's a lot easier. And that's what people have to understand that they're not alone and
Yes.
they don't have to go through this alone. I thank you for your book. I don't know if you've had your book reviewed with the book review team, but I want to urge you to submit your book to the book review team, the magazine book review team. What we do is we have I think it's about 5 or 6 of them on the book review team. Somebody will get your book, they'll read it, they'll do a review on it. The review is posted on the website. Um, each month we select a book of the month. The book of the month is featured inside of our magazine. I don't know if you saw the 3 that have been featured so far, but we feature and they get like I think it's like a 2-page spread or a 1-page spread, but they get featured in the magazine. Your book is inspiring, it's educational, it's definitely empowering, and it'll definitely encourage someone into their purpose. And that's our purpose. We're here to help someone. You know, we have to understand that our life is not our life. It's all
Yes.
about the people that we're supposed to come in contact with. And I want you to understand this. No, some of the things that we went through in our life, no, we should not have had to go through. If somebody had been there to show us the way, we probably wouldn't have had to go. But because we did, it made us who we are.
Yeah.
We're
Yes.
here today so that somebody else don't have to go through what we
Absolutely.
went. Our life is not in vain. And we can look back over our life. No, we didn't understand it when we was going through it, but now we can. You know why? Because God has matured us. We have developed that spiritual connection with that higher power. And that's what it's going to take. We can't do this by ourselves. We can't fight these battles by ourselves. And when we
No.
decide that it's not our life, that we have no power, we have no control because it's flesh, we're going to leave this fleshly suit one day. And when we do, we got to make sure that we did everything that we were supposed to do while we was walking around in this body to touch somebody's life. And I can definitely say that you are doing that. I want you to stay encouraged, and I want you to continue to do what you do. I see you posting. I see you posting. I see you sharing. I see you doing everything that you need to do. You keep doing it because you're touching lives. People gonna get it. People gonna get it one day. Those that don't, it's not meant for them. But the message that you have, it's gonna touch those lives that God appointed you to touch. And when I tell you, when you touch their lives, you're gonna be like, wow, wow, I had that impact. You had that impact because of the message that God allowed you to have. And that's because of what you went through, the tests, the trials, and the tribulation that you endured. We didn't get to hear all your story, but I know it's amazing. They're gonna have to go read the book because I'm sure that book reflects parts of you in a way that people would not imagine. I can only imagine. I'm just honored to be before you today and to have the opportunity to interview you and to share your story. Keep sharing your story.
I definitely will.
Do not be silent. Be that voice because somebody is listening that don't have that opportunity and they think that their voice don't matter because people have told them to be quiet for so long. People told them sit down, shut up. That's all they know. Sit down, shut up. They say it so much they think it's their name. Somebody say sit down, shut up. They look. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I want to thank you for coming on today. Before we leave, I'm gonna post your links so that people can get in contact with you. But I want you to share um, your information. Share your link and your Instagram.
Oh, yes. So it's my webpage is www.kenyatagarner.com. And then you can find me on Instagram at Ken C. Garner. If you just put in the Ken C. Garner in the search,
Okay. So it was posted so they can see it. So I definitely want to thank you. And she is on Facebook, and you are on Facebook under
Kenyatta Garner.
Kenyata. So they can go to your personal page, or do you have an author page?
It's all I only have one page. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where I
So
do all
I
my.
definitely want to thank you for coming on today and
Yeah.
being transparent and sharing and being a part of the platform. Um, if there's anything that I can do to assist you on your journey as an author, please feel free to reach out to me. Of course, I am the founder of AALAC, which is the African American Author Literacy Awareness Campaign. My desire is to bring awareness to brown authors all over this world. I want people to know who you guys are. You know why? Because when I began this, before I even began this journey, I used to work with kids. I ran a summer program and a after school program. I couldn't find books that my kids could relate to so they wouldn't read. When I tell you God took that and turned it into this because he knew that my journey wasn't easy and there was other people that had the same journey that I had but a different story and needed to be shared. I thank him for it. I thank God for each one of my platforms that allow me to come on and share you guys. So this will be uploaded to YouTube. So it will be on Aspiring Authors Magazine, AALAC Aspiring Authors Magazine YouTube channel. So it will be uploaded to there. I will be sharing it across my social media outlets. I want to thank you for coming on and
Yes.
being
Thank
part of Up Close and Personal with Angela. Again, like I said, if there's anything that either one of my platforms can do to assist you on your journey as an author, please feel free to reach out to me. If I can't assist you, I can put you on a path to someone that can assist you on your journey.
you. Yes.
Again, I want to thank you. And
Yes.
I love you,
You.
my sister. I love you, my sister. And you be
I love
blessed.
you. You
Amen.
too.
I love you. Be blessed. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in this afternoon and being a part of Up Close and Personal with Angela. Um, on behalf of Aspiring Office Magazine, I tell you, I was truly blessed on today because we oftentimes go through things in life, and because we've been told to be quiet, sit down, shut up, stay in a child's place. This is grown folks' business. Um, we don't speak. We hold things in. We hide things. We we're shy. We go through things. But I thank God that Kenyatta was able to share her truth on today. I thank her for being a part of the platform. If you would please, if you're listening and you're good and you need someone to talk to, please feel free to reach out to us. We do not come on these lives and share who we are and our platforms with you without letting you know that we are available. You may not see us on Facebook. Please just send us a direct message to our inbox. We are here. You're not alone. We share our story just for that reason. I want you to know that you're not alone. We're all in this together. Together. I want to thank Kenyata Garner for coming on this afternoon, I'm sorry, and being a part of Up Close and Personal with Angela on behalf of Aspiring Authors Magazine. You can go over to Aspiring Authors Magazine blog. You can check her out. Um, I forget what number she is, but I will post her link in the comment section. You also can check this um, out again. If you want to hear it again, you can check it out again on YouTube. If you are watching live now, you can check it on YouTube. If you would like to reach out to her, please feel free to reach out to her. Again, I want to thank you guys for being um, a supporter of Aspiring Authors Magazine and AALEC. And thank you for supporting all that I do. If you've not cast your votes for me, a part of the Urban CEO Network, I am. I was nominated for Community Impact Leader. If you would please go over and cast your vote, that would mean a lot to me. I am the very first person that's listed under the Community Impact Leader um, group. It says Angela, Queen of Collaboration, Thomas Smith. If you would please cast your vote. And you can vote every day until October 15th, as often as it will let you vote. Please go over and support what I do. It will let me know that you appreciate what I'm doing on my platform. I thank you. I love you guys. And if you would like to tune in the 1 o'clock hour, I will be back with another amazing author sharing her journey to becoming an author and walking in purpose. So I want to thank you guys that tuned in for the 12 o'clock hour. I love you guys. Be blessed.